Hi, my name is Kathleen Schultz, and this is the director's commentary on the experimental film called Isolation. Many things inspired me in the designing and making of this experimental film. Taking the concept of depression and turning it into a victim's point of view has a triggering effect on audiences, as it turns this major mental illness that people share into an earth-shaking reality to others who just ignore. This experimental film is a dynamic expression of what a victim faces through this dark and obscure time in their lives. In the film, there is a representation of two different worlds that she is trapped in between, a world of reality and a world of make-believe. My initial idea for the experimental film was to show the audience the other side of depression, the one that is generally hard to explain through words but easier to understand through a visual representation. In showing this, the audience will be able to be put in the shoes of victims of depression. A concept of two worlds, one of reality and one of make-believe, is produced throughout the symbols and techniques such as filters to create this contrast of these two different worlds. This contrast is also represented through the elements of fire and water. The stage in between worlds where her mindset is throughout most of the film is represented through reflections and reflected surfaces. I portrayed the concept of depression in a point of view visual representation because the young people of today do not realise the impact it has on society today. In the film, many point of view shots were used to place the audience in the shoes of the victim, making them feel the feelings portrayed on screen. The film is based on the mindset of the victim of depression, which is shown through her confusion and wary decisions she makes throughout her journey. My inspiration came from a series of short films made by BTS. These short films contain an underlying message through the stories told and portrayed. The film's based on the book Demian by Hermann Hesse, which introduced the notion of good versus evil, the hardships of growing up, and the release of one's innocence. These short films inspired me regarding the symbolism of the way to portray the concept of depression. The one that appealed to me the most out of the films was the short film Lie, based on a person who was stuck in between reality and make-believe. This notion of being stuck in between two worlds is a realism of those who are suffering from depression. The subject in the film is trapped inside what seems to be a mental hospital. This setting is washed out, pale and plain, showing the confusion and distress he has over making decisions as he falls through the cracks of purgatory, landing in an unbreakable cage that's bars are made out of pure lies and deceit. The way I intend for the audience to react from the short film was mostly what the character in the film herself felt, confused with an undeniable need to find out what this all means for her now and for her future. This film is created for the audience to open their eyes more and to understand the struggles that victims of depression feel. From the feeling of confusion all the way to feeling uncomfortable, this film will affect people differently, depending on who they are and their experiences in life. My film has not necessarily been changed from the original design, but it has been developed furthermore in its meaning. My original design was taking the ideas of the BTS short films and merge these ideas, creating the concept of depression and self-struggle. Taking shots such as the subject standing in the rain, burning of the photos, looking around lost on the road, the burning of the flowers, and the overflowing bathtub are all used as they are recreated to fit the concept of the film. There are a couple of problems that appeared in the process of the filming, however I was able to change and adapt to these. Problems such as the shots using fire. Originally when I tried to light the roses, they didn't light up properly. However, I solved the problem by trying different oils to bring the rose to its full glow effect. Another problem was the shots with the bathtub and the pieces that were lit falling into the water. This shot took forever to film as the pieces of the lit paper flew out of the shot or they didn't burn long enough when they settled in the water. Other complications did occur in the filming, however they were eventually solved and adapted to. My target audience for my film was aimed at teens and young adults, as these people have busy and stressful lives, and yet some still fall through the cracks of the pressure that lead to the depression. The reason is so that they become aware of this mental illness and the state it leaves people's minds in, as they could possibly have someone around them who suffers from this mental illness and they would not know. This is why this mental illness has to be addressed straight away. The audience of my screening all watched the film with intent as they tried to decipher the symbolism. Some watching with confused faces, others in thought. They responded to my film not entirely with the whole intended meaning, as they had only scratched the surface. Most referred straight away to the title of the film, which was shown at the beginning, and linked codes and symbols to that. They referred to the film as moving on and isolating herself, as the girl in the film tries to separate herself from her friends and family. They took examples of the burning of the photos and the memories as a form of pushing away everything, and the form of water as a reconnection as she tries to find who she is. If I could make a change to my film to make it more challenging for the audience to decipher and to convey emotions, I would take away the title. It sounds strange in doing so, but having the title really gave the audience more of a link to lead them in deciding what the film was about. This use of the title in some way misled the audience to what the film was about, as isolation is a form of how someone deals with depression. Many symbolic and technical codes created a foundation for the film. Conveying the meaning and representing the concept of depression, these symbols and technical codes all contribute to the meaning. Symbols such as the elements of fire and water help create the divide and the split between worlds, creating opposites of each. The symbol of fire is also used in another meaning and representation. Fire also represents anger, confusion, and conflict within oneself. The fire is used mostly in the representation of the world of reality through the burning of the photos and the superimposed flames. The burning of the roses in the photos is a representation of her burning and destroying the beautiful moments in her life. The world of make-believe is established through the elements of water. This element can be seen in numerous shots where the filter is placed over the lens to show the unrealistic views. Shots such as the beach are shown to serve as a different world of prosperity and peace. However, in both of these worlds that are established through these two elements, there are still links such as reflection to serve as a journey to leave the world of reality. The symbol of the bathtub is repeated several times in the film as the shot starts to eventually fade and lose focus. This shot establishes her way to get to this world as she tries to drown herself, yet is also constantly fading as her decision starts to change and she realizes at the end that she doesn't have to go to this world of make-believe just to get what she wants. A bathtub is normally placed in a bathroom as it is a private thing for people. However, the fact that the bathtub is outside creates a big juxtaposition which makes the audience feel uncomfortable. The symbol of the road in a couple of shots is used to create the sense that she is lost, yet there are still things that she recognises, however she can't get out. I did have to limit my approach towards my film as I was not able to show violence or any self-harm as it would not be appropriate. However, using these would have made the experimental film more dark, creating more depth and a greater meaning within the film relating to the concept of depression. Overall, I am quite happy with the way my experimental film turned out, as it still stuck with the original message I wanted to perceive in the film. However, I believe it can still be improved as there are a few more gaps in the story that need to be filled.